Listen, I've read hundreds of books, if not 1,000, right? And if someone said, Billy, if you can only keep just one book, besides the Bible, you can keep your Bible, but besides the Bible, out of all the books you read, you can only keep one book, what would that book be? It would be this book right here called The Success Principles by Jack Canfield. How to get from where you are to where you want to be. So listening to this video today, my Billy Reed's book suggestion is this book. Not only has this book transformed my life, but it continues to transform my life. And I guarantee you, if you get this book, it'll change yours. Walk with me. Listen, I'm Billy Miller, the motivational minister, and I love books. And I created this channel to share with you the books that I've read that have transformed my life, that have impacted me. And I'm sharing it with you. And if your choice, you can get the book if you want. If you do decide to get the book, I put my Amazon link in the description of this video. I do get a small commission um, that helps support my Reese's Cups habits. But the main purpose of this video, or these videos, or this channel, is to share with you the many books that have changed and transformed my life. Um, this book here, let me tell you, I want you to notice how thick it is. Don't let that deter you. Don't, it's a thick book now. Don't let that deter you. I've read this book at least twice, I believe 3 times. And the reason I say I believe 3 times because I'm constantly going in and reading certain parts. This is a book I continually refer back to. And each chapter is just filled with so much nuggets, so many. To me, it's like many books in one, to be honest. That's how good it is. But it even started off, one of my greatest takeaways was in chapter 1. In chapter 1, he talks about taking 100% responsibility for your life. And this has helped me. This has impacted me because a lot of people are waiting for the Calvary to come. But he teaches you in this, before he started getting to the success principles, before he started getting to all of the nuggets, the first thing he teaches us is to take 100% responsibility for where we are now. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna just read a little bit out of here, just so you can get some of the nuggets. I'm gonna read. You just listen. It says, in fact, most of us have been conditioned to blame something outside of ourselves for the parts of our life we don't like. We blame our parents, our bosses, our friends, the media, our coworkers, our clients, our spouse, the weather, the economy, our astrology, our astrological chart, our lack of money, anyone or anything we can pin the blame on. We never want to look at where the real problem is, ourselves. Listen, I'm telling you, each page is just filled with nothing but nuggets. Let me read a little bit more out of here to you. Oh, I like this one right here. Everything you think, say, and do needs to become intentional and aligned with your purpose, your values, and your goals. That was just a little short nugget there. And then you know what? Also, as a matter of fact, let me read this part right quick. Read one more thing before I make that statement. I'm gonna read this to you. Tell me if you can relate to this. He says, have you ever noticed that people always complain to the wrong people, to people who can't do anything about their complaint? They go to work and complain about their spouse, then they come home and complain to their spouse about the people at work. Why? Because it's easier, it's less risky. It takes courage to tell your spouse that you're not happy with the way things are at home. It takes courage to ask for a behavioral change. It also takes courage to ask your boss to plan better so that you don't end up working every weekend. But only your boss can do anything about that. Your spouse can't. So a lot of times we complain to the wrong people. We complain to people who can't help us. We go to work and complain about our spouse and come home to our spouse and complain about the job. Nothing's going to change. This book is filled with nuggets like that. Another thing I like about this book is that also in this book, he has a lot of quotes. I love quotes. I love quoting people. He has a lot of, just the quotes alone are so impactful in this book. As a matter of fact, let me put one up on the screen so you can see it. This is a quote you see me quote all the time if you've been following me. I actually got the quote from this book. I'm more familiar with certain quotes from people from this book than the actual books that the quotes came from. That's how powerful this book is. But I like this book, this quote right here. It says, all blame is a waste of time, no matter how much fault you find with another, and regardless of how much you blame him, it will not change you. Just that, right? Take a screenshot of that, because just this quote alone, a lot of you who are watching me, who are content creators, you can go do a whole video just off this quote alone. This book is filled with quotes like this. Not only his content, his commentary, but he fills it with so many quotes. And listen, everything I just shared with you, that's just chapter 1. I just read you a piece of chapter 1. That ain't even all of chapter 1. That's just a piece of it. And man, it's really life changing. And the book has, I know it became an Amazon bestseller. I mean, not Amazon bestseller. I'm pretty sure it did that too. New York Times bestseller. I can't remember how many books he sold of this, but this book is one of my favorite books to go to. You know, my favorite book, I did another video where I said that the Vision book is my favorite book, and it is, because it was the one that impacted me the most. But this book is the book. If I had to give all the books away, I keep this one, because it's like this reminds me of the Vision book, but it's broken down into more detail, and it covers so many areas. Like I said, don't let the thickness deter you. You don't have to read the book in one day. You can read it in parts, and that's the good thing about it. You don't have to read it from chapter 1 all the way to chapter, because he shares like I think it's 64 principles, and you can just go pick a principle that in the area that you want to. Yeah, 64 principles that you want to grow in, and just read that, apply it, you know, and come back and read another principle later. But this is a book that I most definitely recommend. I highly recommend it. Hey, I want to take this quick moment to tell you that not only do I love reading books, I also love writing them too. And I want you to check out the books that I've wrote. I'm a #1 Amazon bestseller, and my books change lives. Just like the shirt says, I write books that change lives. You see them right here beside me. Listen, to find out more about it, look in the description of this video and find out more about how you can get the ebook or the paperback copy. Now let's get back to this powerful teaching. I want to share this story with you right quick. So listen, you see, I noticed I got 2 copies of this book. I know you may be saying, well, Billy, the book already thick as it is. Why you got 2 copies of this book? I'm going to tell you a quick funny story. So I think it's this one, I believe. I'm trying to see. So I believe it's this one, but you're probably not going to be able to see it. So I had this book, and this is my book. And my daughter, one day when she was younger, I can't remember how old she was at the time, but for some reason she just had my book and she was just throwing it in the air and catching it. She wasn't thinking, and I don't know what it was, but she was just throwing it up in the air and catching it. Now these are assets to me. This is I'm learning from this, right? I paid a lot of money for this too. This book was a lot of money. I can't remember how much it cost, about $30 when I got it. It was new when I got it, and so I bought this book. And she was just throwing the book in the air and catching it, throwing it in the air and catching it. And then it ruined it messed up the inside. I can't remember if this is the one or not. You can't see it, but this part here came out. And I said, "Why in the world are you doing it?" She was like, "Oh my gosh," she wasn't even thinking. So I said, "Okay, well, you go. That's her punishment." I said, "You gonna have to buy my new book, right? Because you just messed this one up with your money, with your because she got money from allowance and different things, right?" I said, "Well, you're gonna have to buy my book, right?" I said, "But here's the kicker." So let me do this. Let me take this paper off just so it won't distract me. So let me show you this, because this is most definitely a book. Let me see if I can get it with the light. See all that blue? Let me see if I can turn it a little bit. So all them blue highlights. This is most definitely a book you're gonna mark up. Listen, let me see that. I'm trying to get it out of the light. So see all that highlight? Every page I turn to, look, I'm just turning random pages. Look, I'm just turning random pages. See all that blue? I don't just highlight stuff just to be highlighting. I only highlight the bars, nuggets, somebody need to come back to. And so because I had to get a new book, she not only had to pay for the book, but she had to pay me for the time that it took me, because I done highlighted all these books, and I got to go through the new book and highlight in the new book, right? So here, got the new book, but I got to take my time to go through and highlight everything that was highlighted from the previous book. So this is what I did. So he also has a book called The Success Principles for Teens. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna put that link in the description of this video too, for those of you who have teens, which is a good book too. It's smaller, but it's real good. It's for teens. So I bought that book for her. And so while I took the time to highlight this book, this new book, she had to read from the Success Principles for Teens out loud, because I was curious to what it was talking about too, while I highlight, right? So she's reading, I'm highlighting. That way I get her to read a book, get her to grow, right? And I remember in that book, one of the biggest takeaways from that Success Teens books is a book with a chapter about excuses, not making excuses, which she touched on in this book too, but I really liked it in that teens book. But I thought that was just a fun story, and that's why I got 2 copies of the Success Principles book. But the book is so good, even though I have the book, I also have I bought the ebook to put it on my phone, so I can be able to go through it on my phone, because I might not have that big book with me, right? But I got the ebook on my phone. Listen, it's most definitely a powerful, powerful book, and I highly recommend it. So I suggest you click that link, order the book, download the ebook, audiobook, however your form of receiving books. But also, remember I mentioned the Vision book, which I told you is my favorite book. I put a video right here where I talk about that book. So just click right there, watch that video, and I'll see you in that video. Listen, I love y'all. Y'all take care. Y'all stay up. Y'all stay blessed. And always remember that the word is your